All right, welcome to the first installment of this 1974 260Z series project restoration. I'm not quite sure where we're going to go with this car yet, but this is just an introduction into it, the problems it has, the good, the bad, and we're just going to get started with that. So again, this is a 1974 Datsun 260Z. This is there are two different versions for 74. The first half has the smaller bumpers. They're not quite the same as the 240, but they're not as bad as the 280s and the latter half of this year's. So that's a good thing about it. I picked this car up, let's see, I think it was February 7th of this year, which is 2021. It's now halfway through July and just getting around to it. I have been working on another project, a 91 Miata, just finishing that car up, and well, we're gonna have room for this. So it did sit for about 10 years, as the previous owner told me. That is a little bit suspect in and of itself. He did tell me the engine was making a noise. I did turn it over once, did start up real rough, sounded like it might have had a rod knock, which is unfortunate, but I wanted to pull this engine out anyways to kind of give it, a full workover, change seals, everything. I might have to swap the engine. I do have a spare lying around for my 240, so that might have to go into it. Apart from that, we can kind of go over the outside. So cosmetic wise, the paint might look okay from afar, but it's terrible. We've got these lovely bullet hole stickers all over the car, and well, when I tried to pull those off with a plastic razor blade and a heat gun, this happened on a couple spots in the car. Pulled the paint right off down to the primer, so the car may need a full respray. We'll get there when we get there. Another thing is someone decided to paint over the chrome on the bumpers. You can see here, I'm guessing the chrome was pretty bad. We've got what almost feels like filler right there, so that's bad. The only major body damage is on this fender here. Pretty solid dent. Coming around this side of it, they even painted the windshield wipers black. That's great. The wheels, they're period correct. I believe these are American Racing wheels. I don't know the type or model of those ones, but I don't like them. They're rusted. They're kind of terrible. You can really see the chrome coming off that one up there, but we'll definitely be changing those. Over here, the rust on the car is very minimum, like it's or minor rather. Not that bad at all, like the obvious spots that these cars love to rust. Up in here, I'm gonna need to pull back that paint, but from right now it doesn't look bad. The spare tire well does not look bad either. Up here, nice and solid. So coming back around, we have this lovely exhaust tip, homemade, I'm assuming. It's something. Definitely scraped taking it off the trailer. The taillights aren't in bad order. They could use a refresh. Maybe just hit them with some compound, bring some life back to them. The absolute worst part of this car is going to be right up here. From what I know, this was something that you could have put on at the dealership when buying the cars. I assume they just took a Sawzall to it and just slapped this guy right in there. I may patch this up. I've got some help from someone to do that. That leads me to the interior. So this does have an uncommon interior color, being the white. And as we can see here, it's obviously cut right into. So not really sure what I want to do with this. We'll get to it when the time comes. You cannot open the driver's side door from the outside. I think the handle's just disconnected from the lever. I had a 1974 260 years ago. Same problem, easy fix. But yeah, coming into the interior, it's not terrible. You can definitely see this horrible paint job just flaking off right there. They didn't really take too much attention for tape lines. It's really evident up here in the windshield. But yeah, especially here in the door jambs, like they just sprayed it and didn't really care. It does look like it has a dash cap on it here. Well, it apparently has one. So we don't know how bad the dash is underneath that. The center console, if I can get in here, it is cracked. I don't think really gonna be able to fix that. We might try to source a replacement. Seats themselves, dirty. The whole car is dirty. We have some rips in the driver's side. Not really sure how to go about that. If we want to maybe have them upholstered or see if there's any covers, OEM style ones we can get. But as far as rust goes on the car, it's not bad at all. Once I get the car up on jack stands here in a little bit, we can go under there and take a look at that. Let's see if we can, we'll just get in here and show you how we open that door. Well, you have to pull the handle and pull up on the lock at the same time. So we're gonna see if we can do that real quick. This is gonna be some prime content right here. Here we go. All right, now we can go to the outside and come in. All right, right around this way, there is some cracking on the driver's side, the only mirror. These didn't come with one on the passenger side. Now this leads us to the worst part of damage on the entire vehicle. That hole is not rust. He said he hit, the previous owner rather, said he hit a rock on the freeway. It definitely looks like it. It doesn't appear to just be a rust hole. All the metal is bent inward. As far as everything else goes, the floorboards are nice and solid. I did pull apart the ignition a little bit just to kind of see if I could get the car to turn over, because as you can see here, the key is not wanting to do it on its own. It just freely spins in there. So was just turning it from the ignition switch itself. This lovely aftermarket steering wheel wasn't quite correctly installed. It's about to fall right off. Climbing inside the car. Well, it's a 260Z, all right. Some cracking here on the sun visors. Some flower thing from the previous owner. I don't know. We can kind of take a look around the back. She needs lots of work, but I think it's going to be a fun project. And in this horrible sunroof. That's the thing that almost got me not to purchase this car. All right. Well, now we can take a look at the engine. Those of you who are familiar with these know that it came originally with an L26 with the flat top carbs. These ones have been swapped out for some Webers. I need to do a little bit more digging on repair kits, rebuild kits for them. This engine particularly is not an L26. This is an L28. The head and block match numbers from a, excuse me, from a 280ZX. And you can tell it has been adapted rather poorly. This piece here was blocked off with a screw, fell right off. Some of these springs, it's just done rather poorly. I don't think the previous owner really cared much about the car as far as, oh, it runs, that's good enough for me. I understand that logic to an extent, but not in this case. If we come around to the other side, we have a Fram oil filter, which that says enough about itself right there. A new starter, probably just a remanufactured from some regular auto parts store. The spark plugs are all wrong as well. These are auto lights, just the cheapest stuff you could buy for the car. I'm definitely going to do more of a deep dive into the engine bay. The battery bay, as you may know if you know anything about these cars, battery box rather, is rotted out. It's unfortunate. You can see from under here. No, I'll get it up in the air and we'll be able to take a better look. But yeah, that's just a rough overview of this 1974 Datsun 260Z. I plan to do more videos like this as I'm working on it, as I'm fixing it. The first order of business is going to be to get it on jack stands, pull the wheels off, inspect the underside of the car. From what I can see, it doesn't look bad at all. We're going to pull the engine. I think that's going to be probably maybe today or tomorrow. Get it prepped, get it ready to pull out with the transmission and pull the oil pan and kind of see where we're at. I do have a spare engine for this car in case this one is really damaged and not really savable, but we'll see when we get there. Well, thank you for watching, and yeah, if you want to subscribe for more content like this, this is a new project for me. I haven't touched one of these cars in a long time, so it's going to be fun. All right, thank you for watching, guys.